Howdy there guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV, where we are just on the verge of the WDF World Darts Championship starting. Starts on Saturday the 2nd of December and is available to view worldwide on various platforms. You can find out on the WDF website where they'll be, but also free to air on the WDF YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch it, I think, worldwide, or if you're in one of these territories. Like I say, you can go on to WDF Darts, WDF.com, and you can find your local broadcaster depending on what country you are from. Now, the first thing I want to get out of the way here is just remember that the WDF is its own standalone event. Don't jump in the comment section going, oh, it's not as good as the PDC. We know it's not as good as the PDC, but this, guys, is going to be one of the most wide open events. I don't see a favourite in this at the moment, and it's very, very hard to put predictions in, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. That's coming up towards the end of the video, but I just want to sort of preview the event a little bit and see what we've got here, because we do have some quality in this field. We've got 8 previous PDC tour card holders, those being Gary Stone, Mark Borelli of Scotland, James Richardson, who famously beat Raymond van Barneveld in the PDC World Championships at Alexandra Palace, Kai Fang Lang, who's hitting some good form at the moment, David Pallett, former winner of this event, Jelle Klassen, Darren Johnson, and Jamie Lewis. Now, on top of that, we've got 5 players here that have real standout achievements from previous years as well. Obviously, we've mentioned already Jelle Klassen previously winning this event back in 2006 when it was the BDO. We've got Leonard Gates in the field, who has won 3 seniors ranking titles this year, all on TV. The only one he hasn't won is the Seniors World Championship, of which he reached the semi-final, and I'm sure we'll be having another bash at that next year. Jamie Lewis nearly reached the Alexandra Palace final back in 2018. He reached the semi-final stage. Semi-finals for David Pallett as well. This was at the UK Open the same year, 2018, and just last year at the same event, the UK Open, Sebastian Bielecki, who opens this event, reached the quarter-finals of the UK Open. So some real big things there in terms of the professional side of the game. Remember, this is the amateur side of the game, so to speak. And despite the fact it is on the amateur side of the game, some sizable prize money available as well. £50,000 will be going to the winner, £20,000 to the runner-up. Now, £50,000, this is still the biggest prize outside of the PDC. So, still very, very up there in terms of relevance of prize money. Yes, the breakdown doesn't come down too good, but if we look now in terms of like the women's game, the prize funds there on the women's game much more sizable than it used to be. And let's be honest, I'll preview that now for you. Bo Greaves wins it. That's the women's preview. I'm sorry, but I can't see anything but, and the bookies aren't even giving anything reasonable to think that you can try taking. Bo Greaves wins the women's one. But look at this wide open draw that we've got for the men's. And please help me in the comments section for this. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to have a go at trying to predict it. I'll try to pick out some games as well in the early stages, see if we can see some form of value within it. But just look at how that draw goes. I mean, Andy Bartons is the #1 seed. He's going to have his hands full. Scott March and Sebastian Bielecki, as we just mentioned, a former quarter-finalist at the UK Open just a year ago. So, tough little section there for him. He's got Gary Stone waiting, who we've seen do very good stuff at the Super Series. We've got the World Masters champion there, Wesley Plazier, coming in as seed #5. James Richardson is coming into some very good form here at the back end of the year. Moreno Blom's just won a tournament as well over in Serbia. Bottom half of the draw really does look to be the toughest section. So, let's try and make some predictions, shall we? My first prediction here is in the form of Thomas Johans. Now, the reason for the prediction on Johans is 2 things. One, because of David Pallett hasn't really been playing many competitive darts over the last year. He's been struggling with dartitis. We have seen him recently play a couple of sort of events. He's playing just in his local league, and he did enter a Vault series on the ADC just this past week and picked up that win, so some promising signs. But Thomas Johans, for me, is a little bit of a dangerous character here. He's been playing well throughout the year. He's not the quickest of players, which, if you are struggling, you do want to just get on with it and get that pace going. He's picked up 4 titles, 2 in Cyprus, 1 in Sweden, which is a silver event. He also picked the Riga up in is that Malta? I think it was. No, not Malta. Latvia. Two semi-finals. They are Helvetia and Malta, and a couple of quarter-finals as well. So he's had a really good year in terms of the events on the WDF Tour. He's played in the Modus Super Series as well, for which he's got wins against the likes of James Hurrell, who's the number 4 seed for this event. Back-to-back wins over Scott Mitchell as well, so he's got enough pedigree here. And with those concerns over Dave Pallett and unsure what he's going to be like in terms of his play, at odds of around 5-2, I think Thomas Johanns is an interesting play in this one. Same reason that I have to oppose Jamie Lewis, who hasn't been playing much darts himself either. He's had a couple of online games that have been well documented recently, where he's been averaging in the 60s. He did play Richie Burnett in a exhibition tournament very recently, lost that 4-3, but promising signs there against a man who's only just lost his PDC tour card in Richie Burnett. But Jarno Bottenberg is someone I've seen very recently on the Super Series, and I commentated on his full week, and I was mightily impressed with Jarno Bottenberg, and I think he could be value as well. He's coming in odds against, and it could be quite interesting value in regards to the two sort of value plays there, Bottenberg and Thomas Johanns. In regards to something a little bit more safe, or where the shocks aren't going to come from, I don't think we're going to see any shocks or upsets here from the likes of Leonard Gates, who is big favourite to beat Brian Corbett. Moreno Blom just picked up a title recently over in Serbia. Played really good over there. He's got Gabor Takas. I think Moreno Blom's going to be too strong for him. We've seen him recently win a Group A as well at the Modus Super Series. So not going to be scared of the stage, and certainly is coming into this in a good bit of form. I think Bieletsky as well wins the opening game. He's taking on Scott Marsh, and I think Bieletsky could be a danger here, not just to this match, but potentially to the title. We know what he's capable of. He's a weekly winner now at the Super Series and a former quarter-finalist at the UK Open. He's also played at Ali Pali, so he's got plenty of stage experience. Okay. Let's give it a go. Let's see how far we get. This is the top half of the table, what I think is going to happen now. You'll see there's lots of things I haven't filled in. I think it's really, really hard to predict some of these events and some of these matches. So the main thing I'm going to predict here is that Gary Stone wins the top half. I think his scoring power that we've seen on the Super Series have been fantastic. If he can sharpen up those doubles, and I think the set format's going to suit him, I think he could be a real big danger. He's in a horrible section of the draw up there at the top half. I think sort of the bottom half of this top half is quite a little bit more open, shall we say. And I think there's an opportunity here for someone to come through. I would keep my eye on players like James Hurrell and James Richardson in this section of the draw. And Alexander Merckx as well, a big 180 hitter. So that, I think, is left wide open. I think any one of those players could come through that section. But that's this tournament in general. This is going to be the most open darts tournament of the year. I've got the favourite going out here in the opening game. Andy Barton's the number 1 seed, going out to Sebastian Bieletsky. I think that is a horrible draw for Bartons to kick off his campaign. Let me know what you think about this top half down in the comment section. I know. I'm sorry. I actually am. I want to sit here and give you predictions on every single game, what I think is going to happen, and that's probably what you want to see as well. But unfortunately, I just don't feel I can. And I think the event's so wide open that it's going to be almost impossible to do that like I normally do. And I say I don't want to let you down, but I'm letting you down with these predictions as well. The bottom half's even worse. Check this out. I mean, so many gaps here in the field when we look at where we're going to go. I mean, I'm going with Thomas Johanns against Pallett for those dartitis issues for Pallett and the value that is represented in that. I'm sticking with Bottenberg against Jamie Lewis, the games I picked out earlier on. Leonard Gates down the bottom half, the 3-time seniors champion this year. I think it's going to cruise through that bottom section now. His seed is an alternate in John Scott. It should have been Thibaut Tricol, but Tricol got his place in the PDC World Championship, so John Scott comes as an ultimate, and I think that really opens up there for Leonard Gates. So I don't think it's going to have too many problems till at least round 3, where potentially he could have an All-American clash against Danny Lauby. But like I say, watch out for Jarno Bottenberg. I do like him. Good player, and he caused some problems there, but I think Leonard will have enough to get through and take on what I think is going to be Yellow Klassen. I think Yellow Klassen's got a lovely little section of the draw there. I don't think he's going to have too many problems with who he may run into, and I think they're mostly battling out to see who takes those positions. Kaifang Lang, someone who's in a little bit of form at the moment. He won a tournament in Ireland recently. And also with Kaifang, what's key to remember is just recently lost his PDC Tour card. So he's got recent tour experience and qualities to be able to have that card in the first place. I think he takes on Chris Landman, who won't have problems with either Pratnamar or Davy Kirkwan. I think they're playing for another round there rather than to be able to get on a run. I think they've got a roadblock there in Landman, who we have seen at Ali Pali as well. He did beat Scott Mitchell in what was an upset victory at the time. Leon Mandel Lawrence, everyone's looking forward to seeing him, said nobody. He's very, very slow, and he's actually good though as well, which makes it a bit tricky. So Gillett's going to have his hands full. Gillett's not a fast player himself, has won a week at the Moda Super Series. I don't think either of these three players look as a player you'd say they're going to go and get through that section of the draw. It could be any one of the three. Moreno Blom, I think he's coming into this in good form. He's just won a tournament over in Serbia, and I think he's going to cause Neil Duff some problems. I think Neil Duff might just edge that, but I'm not confident enough to put him through a round. And I mean, this is where it is at the moment. Who's going to get through this half of the draw? I've got no idea. This is as far as I can get with it. There's holes everywhere in this one for me. I haven't got a clue. But if I had to make a prediction at who wins it, I'm going to go with Gary Stone to beat somebody in the final. Who that is, I don't know. But I'm going with Gary Stone. Former PDC Tour card holder. Big power scorer. I think he's always going to be 90 sort of plus. And I think that's going to be enough to take down Lakeside in 2023. So my prediction, Gary Stone. Let me know what you think, guys, down in the comment section below. I'm sorry about this prediction because this one's been terrible. But hopefully you got plenty of little bits of nuggets of information from the rest of it. But as far as the preview goes, stay tuned for the Ali Pali one because that one's going to be a bit more opinionated, shall we say. Because this one, who knows? 50-50 matches galore. It'll be a good watch, that's for sure. Good for the neutral. Catch you soon with some more Edgar TV.